And today we're going to talk about chapters 7 to 12 in E.L. Konigsberg's amazing book, The View from Saturday. You can see that it has won a Newbery Medal, best of the best books. I think I'll agree with that. And so E.L. Konigsberg has also won other Newbery Medals. One would be what was it? Ah, yes, From the Mixed Up Files from Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. It's pretty good in my opinion. But I think that I like this book. I like this book better than that book. But I like both books a lot. And then she has also written just a million other awesome stories. So you should all check those out. Because I'm not gonna have the time to do that. Okay. Anyway, so E.L. Konigsberg, she's just an amazing author. You see here, this is the picture of her, and this is so she is the author. And so let's just dive right into chapter 7. And so, do you think that Julian was right about TIP being a like an acronym, and also, Julian just told the commissioner, he said, "With all due respect, sir, you are wrong." I mean, what would have happened? I mean, if the person hadn't been speechless, if you guys said that, do you think that Epiphany team had a big chance of getting, maybe kicked out of the competition? So do you think that Julian, even if they didn't get kicked out, do you think that he should have said that even if he was right? Well, it was a big risk for the Epiphany team, but I'm pretty sure that Julian, he's pretty smart, so I'm pretty sure he's right. Now again, I've not Googled this up. Wish I had a computer around here so I could Google it up, but unfortunately I do not. So Now, so do you think that Martin Luther, right? It said that Martin Luther, who is the subject to the question that Mrs. Alinsky asked the soul, and they're just the 95 Theses, right? That's not supposed to happen, and so at times, do you also do those kinds of things? You just blurt out those things even when you're not supposed to say it. At times I do. And so did you actually know about the 95 Theses and Martin Luther? If you don't, then quick history lesson, okay? Let's go into the 1600s. Or maybe it was 1600s. So Martin Luther thought that the church was not the best, because back then the church was giving money, and they were if you pay me this much money, then I will prevent you from going to hell, which is not in their control. And so Martin Luther, he was a really religious guy, but he just didn't like that. And so he wrote 95 Theses, and he nailed it to the church door. Well, not nailed it, just put it there on the church door. But anyway, so of course the church was not very good, and Martin Luther had to escape. But that caused the Protestant Reformation. And so that was, people began to be maybe the church isn't the all high power. Maybe we can do something. And so there were protests and rallies, and also another person called John Calvin. Yes, John Calvin. He even though Lutheranism, which is Martin Luther's theories, made a big impact. So John Calvin's also made a really big impact, and the people who followed him were called Calvinists. And yeah, and so it's just a really interesting and important part in history, but of course I do not want to get into it right now because that would make you really annoyed and you'd be like, oh my god, Jaden is going on forever. But if you want to know more about that, maybe I'll make a history lesson of that. Who knows? Okay, let's go back to the book. Here, do you think that Mrs. Alinsky's team is actually going to win everything? Win all the teams, and they're going to be like the all-time champions? And even if the Souls didn't win everything, do you think that they'll still be proud of themselves anyway? And have you ever done something and you didn't get to the championships, but you still got long enough to be proud of yourself? Have you ever done that? I'll have to think about that. Okay, so here now we're going to go into the into the week of the Knightsbridge contest, right? And do you think that Mr. Connor DeLu, the principal, right, of Knightsbridge School, do you think that he was nervous, or do you think that he was just like, mwahaha, I can beat those little punks? What do you think? I think that it wasn't like he was like, wahaha, but he sort of was a little smug when he told Mrs. Alinsky, I heard a rumor that your team is expecting to blow mine out of the water, you know? And then it said his smile was as genuine as a, now I cannot pronounce this, okay? Xeroxed signature, you know? You see here, can you see that? Well, yeah, this word. This one. Unfortunately, I have never learned that pronunciation. But anyway, so do you think that Mrs. Alinsky really likes Mr. DeLu? And do you think that Mr. DeLu is really nice to Mrs. Alinsky in a way? Not that. Like, sort of, because Mrs. Alinsky, like, yeah, but still, it's not like the nice, really like sort of like sarcastic, you know. It's not the best kind of nice. Now we're gonna go to Mr. Roy Clayton Romer, and so you know about Mr. Homer Fairbairn, right? Mr. Fairbairn, he just cannot pronounce everything right, you know, like when Mr. Fairbairn was supposed to say, what is the native country of Pope John Paul II? Mr. Fairbairn said, what is the native country of Pope John Paul II? You know? I thought that was pretty funny. What do you think? And like, do you think that Mr. Fairbairn, he was lucky that he didn't get fired? And if you haven't missed Dr. Romer, like, why would you like switch up the people and so that Mr. Fairbairn wouldn't have to say anything? Then I think that's good. I would just choose any other teacher could do better, you know? And yeah. And also, the question for what is the native country of Pope John Paul II? I have no idea. So you're gonna have to, you're just gonna have to see about that one. But maybe we are going to find out, okay? Maybe in the end, I don't know, because maybe we are going to find out, right? But maybe you could tell me in the comments and you'll be like, okay, Jaden, so it is blank, fill in the blank. Okay, now, do you think that, Mr. Fairbairn, why do you think that he isn't really good at pronouncing things? Do you think it's just mistakes, or do you think that, what do you think about that? And also, I wanted to talk about just, this book, and how, and so E.L. Konigsberg has some laughter, and it's just really funny at times. And so, do you think that Mr. Fairbairn, if you have Dr. Romer, would you have fired Mr. Fairbairn? No offense, but maybe Mr. Fairbairn could become like something that is not like too, with the microphone, something else. He could work on something else. Somebody else could do the microphone. Okay, now, so do you think that Mr. Fairbairn, you know, he had a lot of mistakes, right? Like, it wasn't his fault, though. And so, now, do you think that Mr. Fairbairn, why do you think that E.L. Konigsberg sort of added this? Just for humor? What do you think? And finally, before we're going to go on to Chapter 8, I just wanted to say, you know, about Knightsbridge, right? Knightsbridge was defeated, and, if you haven't been to Souls, like, the next competition, you know, if they win, they're just gonna win. And so, if you have been to Souls, would you have been really nervous or would you be excited? I would be pretty terrified. I'll be like, you know, I would be really terrified about that. And then we are going to go to Chapter 8. Okay, now do you think that Mrs. Alinsky is really nervous about this? What do you think? Okay, do you think that Mrs. Alinsky is being a little too greedy when she sort of said, what about extra time on Saturday? Do you think that's a little too greedy? Definitely. I mean, weekend, I'm just like this. And I just sit back, relax, and don't think about school. But if suddenly somebody's like, okay, Jaden, I see that you're having an amazing Saturday. Now come on so I can torture you with more trivia questions. That would be terrible. That would be so bad. I mean, I like learning, but on Saturdays, it's just this sacred time when you just have to stop school. I think that you guys know what I mean, right? If you do not, then type it in the comments. Yeah, I understand if you don't. Yes, it's a very, very complicated thing. Now, do you think that Mrs. Alinsky here, you know, she really trains her students hard, and if they win the regionals, right, like Mrs. Alinsky's gonna also get a awesome grade, you know, sort of like a grade, because she was the person who trained everybody. And so, did you even predict that they were gonna win? What did you think was gonna happen? Like, did you think that they were gonna lose? Okay, now, so do you think that Mrs. Alinsky, you know, she followed the souls, you know, for tea? Do you think that was also okay of her? I mean, like the souls being sort of tracked. Do you think that Noah and Ethan and Nadia and, you know, Julian, yeah? You know, they still was like when Mrs. Alinsky came, they were like, okay, we're gonna have practice soon after. If you had been them, like, would you have been like, appreciate you, but can we just talk and have some fun and not do that? Or do you think that their idea of fun really is those trivia questions? What do you think? Well, those trivia questions aren't bad. It's just that I don't prefer them. Now, so do you think that, you know, Mrs. Alinsky, you know, she was surprised when Mr. Singh knew about what she was going to do, and the souls knew. How could they know? I mean, she didn't tell them. Like, how could they know? Like, they read her mind. How did they do that? So do you think that Mrs. Alinsky really still understands, like, everything here that Mr. Singh told her? And, yeah, what do you think is happening? Maybe they guessed, but they also sort of knew, you know? They were observing, and they were like, Mrs. Alinsky's looking at Hamilton Knapp. Yeah, and not in the bad way. She's looking at him. Yeah, I mean, I think that she wants us, but Hamilton instead of Julian. Yeah. We can't have that. You know, sort of observing, not spying, but observing. Now, do you think that Mrs. Alinsky, right? She quizzes all the children. And do you think that they really are ready for the competition? Or do you think that they're actually gonna lose? We don't know, right? And it might, you know, be just wrong, and maybe, like, you know, maybe they've gone through everything, you know, like other competition, boom, boom, boom. But maybe this one's gonna, I don't know, they're gonna fight a lot. That's my opinion, you know, they're gonna fight. And who's gonna explode? The other team or the souls? We do not know. Even though explosions, like they make nebulas and that's really cool. But still, I think that you know what I mean, right? And so, do you think that Mrs. Alinsky's team, yeah, they're gonna win, right? And she predicts it. And so, do you think that Mrs. Alinsky, why is it so good for her? Yeah, I mean, her team is winning, but also why? It's been like the first time in forever, which reminds me of the song Frozen, but it's been the first time in forever when she's, at least it feels forever, when after the car accident, it's just so enriching to her, right? And she really likes it. Yeah, and so I think that she really is enjoying this a lot. Now, if you have Mrs. Alinsky, how would you have expressed your happiness? I like sweets. So I would go down to the nearest supermarket, which for me would be Ralph's. And yeah, Ralph's is amazing. But maybe it's only in Southern California. I do not know. Yeah, maybe it's not. Like In-N-Out is only in California. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm not very sure, but yeah, In-N-Out is good. Maybe I'll go to In-N-Out. I don't know. In-N-Out or Ralph's or supermarket, get the cake. Celebrate, you know? But I think that I'll like the In-N-Out or McDonald's. Okay, I'm getting a little carried away. Don't carry away. Okay, now I didn't get carried away. I was pushing myself back into myself. Now, chapter 9. So we are actually pretty much through the book. You know, we've got it in the bag. So we just have to do chapter 9, chapter 10, and chapter 11, and chapter 12 is only 1 page long, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna have a good discussion about it, you know? We're gonna have an amazing discussion, okay? I'll guarantee that. Now, so do you think that Maxwell was winning about the, you know, like the acronym thing? Did you think that they're gonna win? And also, what do you think about acronyms? Do you think that just makes them really just harder to understand? Or do you think that, you know, like acronyms make it easier? What do you think? They're good and easy, like the CIA. If someone has to keep on saying the Central Intelligence Agency, I mean, that would be a little hard, but you could do the CIA. Or sonar. You know, like sonar, if someone had to just keep on saying, you know, like if somebody kept on having to say sound navigation ranging, I mean, that would be not very, that, like sonar, you could just say sonar, but instead, if we didn't have the acronym for sonar, it would be, you would have to say sound navigation ranging, which is not very, you know, it's pretty hard to think about, you know? Sound, I've already forgot. Sound ranging what? No, sound navigation ranging. Now let's see if I can remember. Sound navigation ranging. But that's only because I just read it. Now, so we are now going to go to back into the past, because this book is pretty strange, you know? At the beginning, we start out with the middle, sort of the middle, or pretty much to the end. And then we go back into the past, and then the past leads up to the middle. So it's a little complicated, yeah, right? And some people can even think of the middle as the beginning. But that wouldn't make sense, because the beginning was before the middle, but the middle was in the beginning. You can say it really complicated, you know? You can make it really complicated, or you can make it really easy, you know? Here's how you can make it really easy. So, the middle is in the beginning, but after that, the beginning sort of is, and then the middle, and then the beginning, and the middle. And so, you know, like, E.L. Konigsberg put the middle first, but then, you know, like, we sort of go back in time. That's a little more easier, okay? I don't know why, but it just is, to me at least. Now, anyway, do you think that the reporter is being a little unfair to the souls? And like, do you think, you know, every time is bad or not? I say some you knows. I don't say a lot, but at times I do. And yeah, but it doesn't mean any intelligence, rate, like it doesn't really measure that. Anyway, so Mr. Fairbane, he just said the taxpayers are very proud. Is that a really good thing to say? He couldn't say everyone is proud of the team or we are very proud of these youngsters. No, he just had to say the taxpayers are very proud. I mean, is that a very good response to anything? Not much, right? But anyway, so we, I'm getting really excited. It's just so exciting to think about these souls, just these group of kids, One's just a group of kids, but not just a group of kids, a group of special kids. Maybe you can make your own souls because every kid is special, and maybe we can make maybe there'll be thousands of soul groups, and that would be amazing, right? Because the souls themselves, they have great times with each other. So what about these are the souls? They can duplicate, and then we'll have lots of souls, lots of happy kids, lots of happy adults, and just happiness all around, right? So make your own souls. Not a command, but if I can, I'll make my own souls. And it doesn't have to be 4 people. It could be 3, it could be 2, it could be 5, it could be 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe you could even do 100, but that would be a little too hard to keep track. But yeah, maybe even 1,000, but that would be impossible to keep track. But still. Now, do you think that in Albany, who do you think is going to win? And so you know how epiphany meet is actually a word, but is your town like a word or at least what's its nickname? San Diego's nickname is America's Finest City. Now, we're gonna go to chapter 10. So that's awesome, right? Chapter 10. And so, who was the first Spanish explorer to go to Florida? Do you know that? Question mark. Search that up. Let's see if you can get it. Put it in the comments. You're gonna have to put a lot of things in the comments. Let me just tell you that. Now, so do you think that, each voyage begins when you do? Do you think that's true? That is true. When I was born, I started my voyage. It wasn't the best voyage though, because I cried for 3 hours straight. And yeah, it just wasn't the greatest voyage. It was a stormy sea, and I was tossed around, and then waves almost swallowed me, but I survived. Now, my boat is right now floating merrily around, but it has a feeling that something evil is coming in its way. Storm clouds are coming. I don't know what that means, but maybe it's gonna be school tomorrow, or maybe it's going to be today's violin practice. I don't know. Yeah, violin is okay though, so I have to say it probably wouldn't be that. So either school or it would be math. Now, do you think that, so now we are going to we're going actually to the Maxwell and Epiphany competition, right? Like it's now like a bridge, between 2 times, because I'm not making a good enough bridge. This is the bridge, At the beginning, this is the middle, and this middle, it was at the beginning, right? And then this was the past, and at first they were disconnected. We know that they're gonna connect soon, but for right now, the bridge is still in building, and they're not yet. But soon they collide, and they make our bridge. Now times meet, and now we're only going on 1 time, not 2 times or multiple times, which just makes it really complicated. But I like E.L. Konigsberg's writing style a lot though. And the souls, they won. Hoo-hoo! Yeah. Hoo-hoo! I just threw my book into the air. how do you think that the souls felt? You know, you can sort of guess. How did the souls felt then? And you can use a simile and you can like this. I felt as if someone had just given me a glass of lemonade when I was in the Sahara Desert traveling. I mean, I was about to say water, but lemonade, in my opinion, is better. No. I have to do water because lemonade, you just want more. Yeah, even though I love lemonade. So, a glass of water. And also tons of food. Yeah, good. And also a tomato because tomatoes have a lot of juice and I like them. Okay, I'm getting a little carried away. I was just about to add and a pizza. But, yeah. Yeah, I like pizzas too. What is your favorite food? Okay, just wanted to know really quickly. Okay, and now, and how did you feel? You're the reader. I mean, I'm pretty sure that you didn't feel like the souls because they actually were in the story and they won. But I'm pretty sure you felt happy. How much? On a scale to 1 to 10, like what did you do? So why do you think that, you know, the answer, someone was saying Alice Adventures in Wonderland by, and then the education, you know, the commissioner said, no! I mean, is that okay? Like, even just saying no, is that okay? I don't think so, right? But anyway, so, yeah, it's not the best. I don't think so. But still, they won. That's good. Okay, now, like, if you had been the people on Epiphany, like, well, how would you have reacted to that? Me? I would have smiled and I would have laughed and I would have sort of cried a little. And when I got home, I would throw a party. I would go to my favorite restaurant, get my favorite cake, which is chocolate cake, and then I would watch a movie. Yeah, that would be what I would do. What about you? Oh yeah, P.S. I'm gonna watch Star Wars. I haven't watched that in a long time. Yes, it has been long ago. Centuries back. Well, actually, only 2 months back. Okay, now, Mrs. Alinsky, now she's really happy, right? And how do you think that the souls have helped her stand? You know? How do you think that they've helped her stand here? What do you think? Why? They helped her, right? They were kind, they were loving, and they included her, and in the end, okay, it's a little hard to explain, but in the end, they got together and they formed this relationship, and Mrs. Alinsky can now walk, like you can see it, can step and walk. Even if she is paraplegic, she can now walk, you know? Yay! Now we're gonna go to chapter 11, and here, Mr. Singh says some of the most complicated things I think are in the book. And so, I know it's gonna be like mind-blowing. It's like, what? In my opinion, this is harder than E equals MC squared. And I still have not figured it out. I know that it means energy equals mass, speed of light squared, or times 2. But, I mean, like, seriously, the speed of light times 2 and matter? Yeah, and matter, I don't know. And then, you know, I mean, that's just really hard to get my brain around. I don't even know why energy would equal that. Ow, ow, ow. That hurts. Okay, now we are going to, you know, Mr. Singh is saying something. And so he's pretty, you know, and it just means, you know, there's been journeys, right? Everybody has had these journeys. And what do you think that they discovered in these journeys? Maybe kindness, right? Why do you think that kindness sort of was so important and it brought them together? Kindness is just really important. I think that, yeah, you know, it's just really important here. And yeah, you can sort of think like if someone says, what's something really important that you can learn? Maybe you'll say kindness. I am not sure. I can think of a lot of other things, but maybe kindness can be one of them. I don't know. And so, you know, Nadia, Noah, and Ethan, you know, and Julian, they all had these journeys. Like, if you think about that, is that complicating? And do you think that Miss Alinsky fully understood? I think so. Do you fully understand? I hope so. And I do, but like these journeys and all these paths. You know, do you think that how do you think that Mr. Singh sort of knew that? You know, Nadia went to the Sargasso Sea. Ethan had to ride on the school bus. And then Noah from Century Village. And then Julian, you know, Julian, it's been pretty complicated and long. And so, in the end, you know, do you think that here, everything's now amazing, awesome, right? And it's happily ever after. I don't know why I'm doing this, but but to me, like whenever one of my friends, when they say happily ever after, they always do this. So now I'm into the habit of doing this, but I should stop. Okay, I'm not doing it. Why do you think that E.L. Konigsberg really added the question about Humpty Dumpty and now, and that included Alice's Adventures in Wonderland? Why do you think she added that? I was just pretty curious. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't ask that question. So why do you think so? Okay, now we are going to the last chapter. Okay, but before that, do you think that Through the Looking Glass, did you know that Humpty Dumpty was in that? I actually did not know, but I'm gonna have to check out Through the Looking Glass after I read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Well, I've read about half of it, but then I watched a movie of it, and now I haven't gotten back to reading it. But yeah, I know the whole story, like in and out, like the back of my hand. So yeah, I like it. Anyway, yeah. Chapter 12, right? In chapter 12, you know, Mrs. Alinsky asked the souls, "Did I choose you, or did you choose me?" And the souls were like, "Yes." And does that mean they choose her? Yeah. And why did they choose her? Well, she's really nice, and it was one of their missions, right? And to help her stand on her feet. And in the end, were you satisfied by the end? I definitely was. Did you like it, the book? You know me, I like it. But yeah, then again, I like it. But now I'm thinking about the other book, which was From the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler, and I'm like, oh my god, what is my favorite? I mean, I like both of them really much. What's my favorite? I cannot choose about that, but I like both of them equally. Yeah, okay? And now, what was your favorite character? You know, I cannot choose, but Julian, he's a good character. What's your least favorite character? Hamilton Nap. I mean, he gets better, I guess, but in the beginning, he is so bad, you know? Do you think, also, what was your favorite part in the chapters that we just talked about, which is chapters, I think that you already know, 7 to 12, or just the end of the book. Well, that's pretty hard, but I have to say when they won, I was like, oh my, throwing my book into that. I was like, this is awesome. So I really like that. In the whole book, though, that's impossible to say, but I really like the first tea that the souls had. I really like that part. So I have to say, yeah, I like the first tea, but also when they won. But I like the whole book. I mean, those aren't just my favorite parts, and the others aren't. I mean, I like the whole book. Those are like the top favorite parts. Yeah, I have a lot of them. And now we are going to talk about, predictions, because predictions are always important. Even when the book, we've read this whole book, even if it's ended, let's do some predictions. So, do you think that Julian and Ethan and Nadia and Noah, do you think that they and Mrs. Alinsky, they're gonna have a long-lasting relationship? And each of them, what do you think that they're gonna accomplish? Because Ethan, his brother was like so amazing and all that, and people were a little disappointed. But I think that they have accomplished a lot already. But what are a few other things? Oh, Noah is gonna become the top calligraphy champion, and then Nadia is going to become a professor on turtles, and also the top turtle marine biologist turtle marine biologist, and then also she saves a lot of turtles. Ethan is going to be, I don't know, maybe Ethan is going to be the maker of halos. No, that's not really good. And also the greatest pumpkin farmer in the world, because he's at a farm. But also becoming the greatest pumpkin farmer in the world and making amazing luminescent halos. I think that he is also going to invent the first, oh my, I forgot. Yes, I think that he's gonna invent the first if you ask this thing anything, it'll answer it correctly. Not like, if you go on Google, 99% is right, but like at times, websites can get things wrong. This is completely right, And I think like that, maybe he's gonna invent that. And maybe his name is gonna turn into like a, word, like an adjective or a noun, I don't know. And I think that Julian is gonna become the greatest magician of all time. And he's gonna just sail around all over. He's gonna go to Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, he's already in North America, but all the places in North America, like Mexico, Canada, California. I wish that he does a performance here where I live. And then maybe Oregon and New York. Well, he lives in the state of New York and he's only 3 hours away, but still, he could do a really good one in front of the Statue of Liberty. I don't know, but it would just be pretty cool, right? And I think, those are my predictions. And then what about Mrs. Alinsky? What do you think that is gonna happen to her? And do you think that everything is gonna be happy here? And do you think that the souls are going to have any other adventures with each other? Maybe they are. Maybe there's gonna be another contest, or maybe, I don't know, but maybe they're gonna go on a mission. I'm not very sure, but unfortunately this does not have a second book. But if we did write a second book, then we'll have to do it. Maybe they're on a mission now, to save the Mona Lisa. I don't know why that popped into my head. Okay, so I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed this book, and I hope that you really enjoyed the book, It's really close to my heart, and I hope that it's also close to your heart. And keep on reading, and just have a great rest of your day or night. I think you're pretty sure that I was gonna say that, right? Right. And now, just have a great rest of your life. You didn't expect that. And just try to make a difference. No pressure, I'm just saying. I know that you can make a difference. This difference can be big, like maybe you're gonna, maybe you're gonna become the next president. Or it can be small. Maybe you're gonna mend your sister's doll. I don't know. But any difference is good, okay? Well, not like Adolf Hitler difference, that's good. I think that you know what I mean. Hope that you have a great time with me, okay? And you know what I'm gonna say? Keep reading. Bye.